So good to see you again, Laura.
Hi.
Congrats on the friendly match win. Just wanted to get your overall thoughts on this one, even though I guess you flew in pretty recently.
I did yesterday, yeah. I thought we did some good stuff. I think getting Mia and Sophia some minutes was a big priority for us. So we did that, which was great. Trying to try a couple of different things, a couple of people in different positions. We've got a big stretch of 12 games in 12 weeks coming up. So we're not going to have a lot of time to try things out and, train if we need to do things. So I think this period's been really good for us to be able to do that. Nice to get a win. I thought we could have scored more. And we were tested in ways that we don't often get tested in our league, really. So that was fun. I thought it was a good occasion for the club, and obviously to get international opposition here is always fun.
Fun to see Maddie Prohaska get, the start and the whole match there. What did you like from what she did today?
Just really calm. I thought she was calm. I think the set piece was a bit disappointing, not for her, but I'm sure conceding like that. But I thought she was comfortable. We were confident going back to her with her feet. Her feet are very good. Whenever she needed to make saves, she made them. Overall, really happy for her too that we were able to get her minutes on the field, because if she did speak in here, right? She came in, as you can probably tell, she's a good personality and a good person. So.
Hey, Coach. So 4th consecutive game with at least 2 goals. Can you speak a little bit to the team's momentum right now offensively and just the confidence overall?
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the group right now, and obviously we've got a lot of people who aren't here, is we feel like we can have the next player up mentality everywhere on the field. Like every single position, we have really good depth. And honestly, picking rosters and starting 11s in the second half of the season is going to be really challenging. But that's credit to the players, because they're stepping up and showing the potential or the ability that we always believed they had. And I think it's probably the deepest roster I've ever had. 1 to 26 or whatever we've got. I think the difference between who is the best player in the position versus the one that maybe isn't in the best form, I think is really close. So I think that really helps with competition. And I think that's another reason why we're on a good momentum shift, because I think everyone knows and believes that they've got a chance of playing. If they play well, they play, and if someone's playing better than them, then they might lose their spot. And I think that we don't often get that. I think that's been a really good, positive thing for us that we need to take into the second half of the season.
So it was, of course, a gift for the fans to see official play for the first time. Though it was only 30 minutes, what do you make of her performance and how she's been integrating into the squad?
Yeah, I think she's integrated really well into the team. I think when you play as a forward, to understand the tendencies of the people around you is the thing that can be the key ingredient for a forward to be successful or not. So I think playing with Jordan and Coco today was great. Hopefully we can, over the next couple of weeks, integrate with Lynn and Emery and G and Jess and everyone else coming back. So we get to see Mia in all these different potential matchups. Will be great. And I think that, I've said all the way through signing Mia, I would love it for her to hit the ground running and be amazing from August 1st. But with where the team is in, like my previous answer, I don't think there's pressure for her to be that, which is great. It's, ideally what you want. We're not bringing her in to be the hero today. We're bringing her in because we think that she's got short-term and long-term value to this team. And the more we can expose her, the better that will be.
I think today was also a really good example on how much depth this year's squad has, with like G and Lynn, for example, not being involved with today. What is your, at least, current plan to rotate all these players? So especially these seen as high quality, high performing players gets all of their play time?
Like I said before, I think one of the things that I can look the players in the face and say honestly is this year, maybe more than any other year, we've had a true, if you play well, you've got a chance of keeping your spot. If someone is playing better than you, then they may start over you. And also that the value of who comes off the bench, as well as starting, is super high. You know, I think back to the Chicago game, G didn't start. G came on at halftime. Sammy Mazer came on at halftime, and the game just changed. You know, so my job is to try and pick a team and a bench that I think can win us the game, right? And obviously there's a lot of factors that go into that decision, but that's what my job is. Their job is to make that as hard as possible. That's their job, right? And I think, you know, in previous years, there's so many players. I mean, Jess springs to mind, where we've played Jess with one leg because we had to, because we didn't have anyone else who could perform at the level that she can. And I don't feel like we're there today. I think we've got players who can step in every single position, which, you know, is great, as long as the players all buy into that. And right now they are. So I think knowing that we've got a very, very, and we're not on our own, the league's schedule is crazy between now and mid-October. It's unrealistic to think you're going to play the same starting 11 every week with the travel and the days between the games. So having a really competitive roster that can go out and perform, depending on opponent, depending on where we are, depending on what travel and recovery we've had, is a luxury I don't think I've really had before. So I'm excited for it. I think, you know, the group's in a good spot. You know, we still don't have our Europeans back yet. But when we're all back together, I know that we'll be having some really honest conversations about what the next 3 months looks like.
Specifically today, when they came off the bench, you had Emery come on in an unusual time of the match.
Yep.
And then coming out of the half, you had like Maddie Deline and them coming on. And within moments, they're impacting the game.
Yep.
Sam Meza gets a cracking goal within a minute. Maddie Deline's getting behind the defense. How important is it going to be for you for success this season to have impactful substitutes given the roster that you're facing?
Absolutely. And, you know, like I keep saying, I think we just have so much depth in every position. Every single position. I could name 3 people that could start in that position. And you don't get that very often, you know. So I think it lends towards, as long as the players buy into it, which is huge, that there's going to be weeks you could start, there's going to be weeks you might not even be in the 20, you know, that could be how it works. But all they've got to do is what they can control, which is turn up every day and train and play at a level that means that they deserve that opportunity, right? And our job as staff is to prepare them as best as possible to be able to execute those things and be able to have relationships with them, to have honest conversations about why they may not be starting or coming off the bench or whatever it might be. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. I think that the group's in a really, really good place. Getting through this July period's been weird, honestly. We trained with 8 players for, 2 weeks. So getting the whole group back together again has been exciting. And obviously now we're really starting to turn our focus towards the second half of the season and what that looks like. And today was a good step in doing that.
I believe this is the second time in recent memory where Shea Holmes has worn the captain's armband. Just wanted to ask you what you've seen from her growth-wise, as well as what your decision was in giving her that for this match.
I think we created a player leadership group at the start of this season, and the players voted for who they wanted on it, and Shea was in it. So I think she has developed tremendously in the 3 years she's been here. I've talked about Shea a lot in regards to her journey. You know, I think initial journey was just stay healthy, you know, horrific injuries, stay healthy. So we've gone through that journey. Then it was about, okay, how many can we get you minutes here and there whilst keeping you healthy? We've done that journey, and now this journey that we're on now is how do she push and how do we push to develop her and get her where we all believe she can be. And I think she's on a really good path to that. And leadership's, I think, in her part of her DNA. So I think the players see that. I think she sees that. I think she was surprised today when she walked in. But, I think one of the big legacies of this club is to always, for the older veterans, is to leave it better than they found it. And that's not just, all the outside things that you see that, is all celebrated, but the internal part of leadership and what it means to play for this club. I think Shay really epitomises that. So.
And then to go off the leaving it better than you found it line, from what I understand, the reason you were away was this very interesting coaching conference. Can you speak a little bit on that and what that experience is like for you?
Yeah. It's a FIFA elite coach mentoring program. I'm a mentor, which is slightly weird to me, but hey ho, here we are. FIFA invited me to be part of it. We went out to Zurich for 4 days and did some workshops on being a mentor, working with your mentee, how we can, help each other, that I'm not going to help her, she can help me too. We got to go to the England-Sweden game, so that was fun. Not nail-biting, but fun. It's an 18-month program. My mentee is Northern Irish, so I get to go and see her. She gets to come to my environment, which will be fun. It's an honour to be involved. It was an honour to be asked to be involved. And I learned a lot in those 4 days, so I can't imagine what she learned. And I'm excited for the journey. I think it will be a really fun thing. There's some really great coaches involved who've got a ton of experience, some World Cup winners and all that type of thing. So it was a really fun 4 days. It was the initial sort of get together. So it's just started. And it sort of runs through the end of 2026. So, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Laura.